The medic's role in 6v6 is... It's interesting because it's a lot more than what it looks like. You're the nameless hero of your team. You don't get credit, which sucks. Scouts seem to get the most glory, which is nice, but it does suck for the medic. Their role is essentially to keep everyone healed over their full amount of health and over buff, as they say, and to maintain that in order to give your team a lead. And the interesting thing about that, and this can kind of tie into other games, is to get a tactical advantage, you can choose how you dole out your heals. If you want to heal your scout at this point because you feel like he can, flank in from the side and cause some commotion or distract while your soldier's reloading, it's really a lot deeper than just holding down left click on a target. And I think once you get into competitive play at a high level, you really begin to realize how important a good medic is. A scout in 6v6 is going to be the most mobile class, and they definitely have a high damage output, and this all depends on your positioning, your aim, and a lot of other factors go into that. So the difference between a low-level scout and a high-level scout would be aim. Aim is there. Aim is very important. But your positioning and your responsiveness to your team and your comms, they all come together to make you what you are as scout, to make you the best scout or just a low scout. But if you continue to work on all of those things, if you are examining your play and looking to get better, you can become a lot more impactful as a scout. But they're definitely one of the most powerful classes in the game. While they're all powerful, but...
So what do you look for in an opportunity to go in for a big kill streak? What gives you that opportunity?
Generally, when I see a lot of weak opponents, I know that's time to go. I know that is an entryway for me to kind of do a cleanup routine, kind of play janitor and just come in, mop the floor. Just because of that mobility, I can run in, I can do maybe 100, 200 damage to one or two targets, finish them up, and then head on to cap another point. So your effectiveness as a scout being utilized the proper way, no other class can really match that. The Demoman, he has the highest damage output of any other class. He's the most important class besides medic, but in terms of fragging classes, he's the most important and has the most impact on the game. He has the ability to put up sticky traps, which can completely block off specific points, areas. You can control sides of the map. You're controlling one side so you can look at the other. You don't have to worry about the other. So Demo is really the only class that can set and forget and just kind of instill fear or just kind of control the flow of the game. So the roaming soldier, his role is a little more flexible. He can die pretty much at any point in time and it wouldn't make a huge difference, but at the same time, a great roamer can make a huge difference. If you are very nimble, if you're agile, if you can just hop right in, do some damage, hop out, distract, if you can get behind them, all of those things are very important as a roaming soldier. So defining that class is a little bit harder because you can do so much more, but once you get to the highest level, every class is just important as the next.
Okay, and finally, what about Pocket?
Pocket soldier, I think, should be used as a loose term. I don't think that there should really be a soldier that's always being healed, always at maximum health. I think Tyler plays that role and it works, but if I were to critique his play at all, I'd say if he were able to leave the medic a little bit more, maybe help out the team in other areas, be a little more comfortable in that sense. Pocket soldier can be a lot more effective if you know when to move in to support your team, to leave your medic, and when to come back to protect him from opposing forces. So I guess a pocket soldier, what makes one good is knowing how to protect your medic, knowing where to position your medic. So off classes play a pretty big role in the game. They allow the roamer or maybe a second scout to take a different approach to pushing. The sniper, the spy, the pyro, heavy, engineer, all of those classes are considered utility, and they can all be used differently. So if you're having trouble pushing a last, you can switch over to sniper, and then you can try to take advantage from a long point where you otherwise couldn't get in because of maybe stickies or any other opposing forces. So I think that off-classing should be done, absolutely. It should be done at random times to throw your enemy off. Again, tactically, it's a good idea to be unpredictable. So switch it up. You'll see that hard blue on our team, he goes spy sometimes and gets the most random spy backstabs that end up turning the tide. So they're definitely useful. Just know when to use them, and you can be effective.
And so would you say they're not useful in normal game because they rely on surprise, or they're not versatile enough, or they're not mobile enough? What's the big drawback to using like a full-time spy or pyro?
The issue with the utility classes is their damage output. It's just simply not high enough. A pyro, you need to be too close to be doing damage. You can say, well, I can reflect. That is useful, but it's not a reliable damage output, and you just get destroyed by scouts. When you look at sniper, if you don't hit a headshot, you're pretty much playing 5v6. So that pretty much speaks for itself. If we're talking heavy's good, but it's slow. So if the other team knows you're running a heavy, they can capitalize on that by gaining ground, or by all focusing the heavy as soon as he comes in and him just exploding. So that's also a possibility. Engineer takes too long to set up. There's really hardly any time to use engineer. It's just too fast paced. And then spy, revolver, I'd say spy is probably next to sniper one of the most useful. I think spy is underused in the game. I think that it can be used more and used more efficiently. If people figure out how to use the ambassador, maybe make the medic use from across the map, that'd be really cool. Or just sneak in and start shooting him in the back. I really like spy, so there's definitely more room to use that.
Okay. People said TF2 is a very Uber-based game. Like how you push depends really highly on the Ubers. Can you go into that a little bit more?
Yes, I've talked pretty frequently with some of the top players in the game, and some of them tend to agree that if we were to bring the time it takes to charge an Uber down by half, so 15 seconds maybe to get an Uber, or 20 seconds about, and then the Uber still be 8 seconds, or maybe the Uber's 4 seconds. It doesn't really matter. The whole point is, if spectators think the game isn't fun to watch, they think maybe it's a little too stalemate-y, what that does is that allows for more pushes, more plays to be made, more interesting combat, more interesting everything. So we've talked about that, and maybe we could put that into a Team Fortress 2 Pro mod or something, but that's something that I've thought about, and I think that the Uber play is detrimental to a team. If you cannot have good Ubers, you will not succeed. So your medic has to be on the ball. You guys need to know how to use Ubers. You need to know the timing of them. And yes, they're very important when it comes to controlling a game.